Move it here. Move it where? Here? Where? Oh. So actually, that mirror and that mirror, well, that has to come off the wall. We're going to put it there because the landlord plans to fix the windows. So he told me that I had to take the wall out. And then he said, you can put it back if you want. I said, well, we'll see. Anyways, I said, why do you have to fix the windows? We don't use them. Okay. Oh, we'll bow in. Ready? Up. Salute. Okay. Ready? We can spread out this way a little. Okay. Ready? Hands up. Everybody join in. Turning. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. To the side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. Okay, hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right. To your left. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right. To your left. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right. To your left. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, hands and waist. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Center. Cross. Knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, center. Okay, hands on your waist, neck turning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Center. Tilt to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Center. Down. Circular motion. 2, 3. Reverse. Center. Hands up. Pull in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Spread your feet. Turn your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, and stop. Okay, cross your fingers, interlock them, stretch a little, just work the best you can. Switch. 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 Straighten the front knee. Switch. 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 Center. Okay, shake it out. Okay, whoops. Okay. Hands up, pull in, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Hands in your waist. Shoulder roll. Reverse. And sana. Okay. Press, release, exhale, inhale. And stop. Hands up, pull in, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, wrists. Reverse. And sana. Palms down. Bigger circle. 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. Okay, shake it out. Gonna do swaying side to side. center. Now we're going to lift. Okay, and center. Now right foot forward, hands like this, up and down, so the opposite hand pulls. And switch. And center. Okay, shake it out. Hands up, deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, silk grilling. Switch. And center. Okay, cross. Right foot forward. So, yeah, right foot forward. One foot's in front. Yeah, yeah, and then here. Open and close. Switch. and settle. Okay, feet parallel, shoulder width. Okay, circular movements, preparation. Okay, lower hoop. Shoulder height. Elbows down. Lower palms down. Okay, lift the back, straighten the spine. Extend, fingertips pointing down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, diagonal flying. Switch. Okay, center. Cloud hands. Okay, palms down. Lift up. Carry tiger to the mountain. Infinity sign. Center. Okay. Form the fist. Okay, palms together, strum the lute. Okay, thumbs up, alternate the shoulders. And switch. Left thumbs up, palms together. And sada. Extend, turn, draw the bow. Okay, back to center. Okay, spread the feet, fan to the back. Okay, raise the hand. Okay, palms down, hands up, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, one more, inhale, exhale. Okay, we'll go through the sequence. We can shift this way a little bit so we don't run into the mirror down there. And so just follow along best you can. Monty, you want to follow along first and then work a little bit with mine later. Yeah, might want to shift down here, yeah. And okay, ready. Feet parallel. Tai Chi Paradigm short form. Ready. Preparation. Left side forward, press forward, sit back, and turn the corner. Flip the hands, shift your weight. Right side, grasp the sparrow's tail. Hook your wrists, single whip, open, hold the ball, shift, diagonal flying, shift, vertical, right, press forward, raise the hand, bend from the waist, stalk flaps wings, turn, toe heel pivot, brush knee. Second brush knee, third brush knee. Vertical right side, horizontal elbow press and step through, brush knee, fourth time. Sit back, vertical left to strum the lute. Close the door. Form the fist, right side, and punch. Divert, block, and punch. Cross the arms, leopard and tiger springs to mountain. Neutral position, left side, turn to your right, back to center left, fist under elbow. Neutral position, round out, straighten the back foot, reverse the stance, stepping backwards and retreating, repulse the monkey. One more time, left side. Neutral position right. Hold the ball, twist step, step through, diagonal flying. Sit back, insert the needle, step up, fan to the back. Turn, stroke down, parry and punch, step up and form the fist, punch, infinity sign, divert, block and punch, cross the arms, leopard and tiger springs to mountain. Hands down, turn to the rear corner, carry tiger to the mountain. Okay, square up to the back, cross the hands, raise the left hand, bend from the waist, stalk flaps wings, turn. Left side, grasp the sparrow's tail. Hook your wrist, left side single whip. Hold the ball, reverse the ball, diagonal flying. Sit back, stroke down, pot the horse's mane. Twist step, step up, right side, vertical, stroke down, pot the horse's mane. Now we're going to cross corner, Jade Lady work shuttle, cross corner, Jade Lady work shuttle. Okay, hook your wrist and turn to the front. Open your stance, back to single whip. cloud hands. Reverse the ball, diagonal flying, shift, and close. Okay, deep breathing. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, we shift down the swallow. You want to run through that again? Try that again. How's Reese? Did your cousin go? Reese? Oh, he come back. Oh, okay. Oh, good, good. Yeah, it was good exposure. You know, yeah, because it's it's not, maybe you probably sometimes have trouble finding a place to do it. So if he has trouble, then he can try to do it online. Yeah. So okay, let's try. We'll run through it again just for sequence, and then we'll talk a little bit about what are some of the benefits of Tai Chi and why certain things that we do kind of work the way they do. So, anyways, want to run through it again? Short form. Okay, preparation. Sink your elbow and relax the shoulder. So a lot of times you hear these terms and just use those as guidelines. Shift the weight, pivot and turn, separate the hands, forward to grasp the sparrow's tail, circular movements, single whip, hold the ball, shift, shift, press forward to raise and lift the hand, bend from the waist, stork flaps wings, turn, relax the shoulders, sink the elbow, turn to the right, brush knee and push, repeat, second time, forward to a step, sit back, strum the lute, step up, close the door, form the fists, punch, sit back and divert, block and punch. Cross the arms, leopard and tiger springs to mountain. Back to neutral, turn, fist under elbow. Go back to neutral, round out horizontal elbow, repulse the monkey, go back 3 times for 3 steps. Forward to a step, and here we go, the last, repulse the monkey to the right side, hold the ball, twist out to step up, diagonal flying, sit back, insert the needle, fan to the back, turn, stroke down, Invert the hand, parry and punch. Form the fist and step up. Sit back, divert, block, and punch. Cross the arms, leopard and tiger springs to mountain. Bring the hands down, shift back, pivot, sit back and pivot. Raise the hand, bend from the waist, stork flaps wings. Neutral position, grasp the sparrow's tail left side. Hook your wrists. Separate the hands. Flip the hands over to close, like closing the form, but now we go back to part the horse's mane. Sit back to a step, step up. Stroke down, part the horse's mane. Cross over, forward and back. Jade Lady work shuttle, right side crossing over, forward, back, and forward, and back. Hook your wrists, single whip, cloud hands. Hold the ball, flip it over, diagonal flying. Okay, deep breathing. So how's everyone feel? Any questions? So, typically what's Tai Chi prescribed for? Right? Generally, balance, right? Balance is one of the things. And, maybe you have other issues with coordination. Maybe it's mindfulness, the meditative side of it. And then people say you do it for health, right? Your immune system. So you think about martial arts, which is what I teach here outside of Tai Chi. If you think about the ancient people that practiced and studied this or created this, what was some of their goals, right? Some of their goals was survival, because it's a martial art. The other thing is, inside the training is to develop longevity of life. Right? Back then, people didn't live very long because, there was a different culture. Maybe there's, you might be eaten by a tiger or something like that back in those days. So you just learn to defend yourself somehow. And then longevity, if you were lucky enough not to get eaten by a tiger, then you would want to have a long life at some way. They didn't have hospitals, or they didn't have all these modern facilities that you go to, so they did what they could to strengthen their immune system, and they didn't really know. They just did it because they might thought it worked. So what was one of the key things that they worked on? Breath, movement, and refining that. So they have all these ideas back in the day called cleansing of the marrow, working with it was called washing and cleansing the marrow was one of the exercises that they did. And another exercise they did was the changing of the tendons and ligaments kind of thing, the sinews. So that's what we're doing. When we move, we work our musculature, align our skeletal structure, and working the ligaments and tendons. So that helps level. And then with the changing of the marrow, I mean, that's kind of something that you would say, well, how does that happen? But in science today, we know that our immune system, our white blood cells, so forth, is developed inside the bone marrow, right? So changing of the marrow is something that happens through circulation. The blood goes through your circulation, and all the cells in your body kind of go through this process. So now today we have COVID. They talk a lot about your T cells after you get your vaccination. They talk about your system, the memory of the immune system, and that's how your immune system is supposed to work. But the T cells are something we have, and when you work with your system to improve your circulation, you can strengthen that side of your immune system because of your circulation. So people with poor circulation will probably have some problems. And we're talking about average people, not someone with a blood disease or something like that. But that's kind of what they were thinking back in the day. How do you strengthen your body to avoid some of these diseases? And that's how they worked it. So breath and movement all kind of support each other. So when you do exercise, and they say today exercise is important to health. Why is it important to health? It's important because you have to move, and you have to work your skeletal structure. All the cells get this nutrients and oxygen from movement. So we have to move, but you can't move the same way and get the same benefit. You have to move based on age-appropriate type exercises, and so as you age, and you have to do what's kind of good for the body. You're not really just building muscles. That's what a lot of the attitude today is. You have to build all these muscles to be very strong, or some of it is just for the look of the body. But I don't think in the past they did a lot to do that. It wasn't bodybuilding. It was more doing things for functionality. So when we move, we're trying to build integration of body, coordination, moving our appendages all the way down to the fingertips, to the tip of the toes. We have all these parts there must be a reason for it, right? And the brain controls all of this. And even in the ancient days, they didn't know about the brain. They thought everything was driven by the heart, right? Yeah. So when they use the heart, because why? Because the heart responds to what goes on when you're stressed or whatever. So with anxiety or emotion, your heart changes its rate of beating and so forth. So they thought that controlled the heart, but it's actually controlled up here. And what controls there is what goes through the body, and tied to the organs and everything. So all their thoughts were about the organs, and the breath and the movement, tied to different concept of yin and yang and elements in the earth and all this. So they put all these ideas together, and that's where we get some of the concepts that we teach as like the 5 elements forms, or in some of the Wudong classes we use those elements as guidelines as well. In Hunga, the Kung Fu style, they use elements and animals. We have 5 animals and 5 elements, creating what we call the 10 image forms. So they use those concepts as ideas how to practice. So in Tai Chi we use these postures, and we define the movements through postures. And part of it is the continuity of movement, integration of body, and I've been talking about a control factor. What are you controlling? Is your components in the body, all the way down from your feet to the top of your head. You're controlling these parts through motor skill. And if you're building refined movement, the control becomes more, and more complex. So when you see the forms, like Peter used to say, well, how do you get all of this to happen? It happens over a course of time through understanding. So the more information you have in here about what we're doing, then the more the tendency is to train toward that. You have that kind of objective. It's not just, well, I'm improving balance, I'm doing this, improving circulation, but how does it happen? So when we do deep breathing exercises, you know how much is involved in just doing something like that. Controlling your breath on the inhalation, releasing as you exhale, not letting the release of the tension happen on its own. It happens systematically blending. So when the hands come down to here, then you feel your ground sort of approaching your foot, or your foot approaching, so you can feel that relationship. So that ties to your sensory system that controls practically everything that's happened because of the give and take. What the brain tells the body and what the body tells the brain is that cycle of information. So, that's part of what I call body intelligence. And, Barkley said to me at one time, what's body intelligence? But your body becomes knowing, so that's part of our intelligence, and we know what it feels like from our sensory system, from a detection of the feeling and the understanding and the relationship between that, our hand position, and how the joints are designed to move. All of this stuff gets supported by understanding. So when the body becomes intelligent, it becomes sensitive and aware to things that are beyond just what we think about when we take in information. It becomes a feedback that tells us what that information means. So lightness, sensitivity, releasing tension, driving movement not from the external side but from the internal side, moving from the core of your body out to the outside rather than movements out here, never reaching here. So what that is, when we turn, it's not really just the hands. Movements are actually from the body. So that's something that we have to understand. The body, if this is the critical mass where all your organs are, and it's just a solid object, then your circulation in that area is going to be impeded or not as good as if you were moving and controlling those parts. Why do we have so much, problem with the lower back? Why do we have so many people with back problems, injuries, or so forth in the lower back? Because we don't use those. We don't twist normally. We do a lot of sitting, and we're not twisting. So we twist and turn. Lifting and sinking, that's rising and falling. We think of rising as going up and falling as going down, or sinking, but it's actually your torso that's rising and falling, right? Your ribs have all these, this connective tissue, but all these spaces between that open and close, right? When we turn like this and we move our hands, the arms are out. When we relax our shoulders, it comes down. Then this is closing. When our foot is like this and we turn like this, and turn like this and this turns, this is opening and closing. What's closing is the joint. So when this folds in, it's turning in. It's turning like this. And then when you do this, it turns out. So everything that we do has sort of that opposing direction of force. So you have to balance that. So what forward and backward, right and left, and central equilibrium is those 5 directions blended together for balance. So if you notice, if I move to my right, then I move to my left. If I sit back and I go forward, that's a direction. In between the directions of right and left and blending it together becomes the balance point, essential equilibrium. So if I'm turning and going forward and back, the relationship between the elbows and the knees, the hands and the feet, the upper body and the lower body, all blending together. So that's appears to be the softness in the movement. So it's not driven, out here just by isolated one-sided movement. It's all tied together. So that complexity that's up here is what really is the benefit for the neuro side of it, and then on the physical side of it, there's circulation. So that's kind of how it works. It's a slow, long journey, and it's a process that takes maybe your whole life to get it, but it constantly is something that's cultivated. I call it self-cultivation. It's different from like playing a sport, because that's a physical thing. The game's over and it's over, right? This is not a game. It's kind of a life experience. So anyways, yeah. Actually, tiger represents maybe all the stuff you're saying, but when we look at like our form called the tiger crane form, so they represent solid and empty, or soft and hard. Looking at like the sort of tiger would be on the firm side, and the crane would be on the softer side. So they're just using those animals as references and use them as analogy. Like water, water is fluid, right? And it should flow like water. Well, what happens when it goes below 32 degrees? It becomes solid, right? So you have the solid and the fluid, and you do it long enough, it turns into steam. If you cook it, if it heat. So it's fluid. Our body is going through the same thing. So they just use those as kind of like a draw the bow to shoot the. So drawing is drawing the bow. That's what it is. So that's what we call the splitting energy. Shoot the tiger is to release. So when we do this and let go, it's that give and take. But what are you doing when you draw? You're aligning your body. When you draw, you're turning your back. When you release, so the body expands, it contracts, it opens, it closes. So every part of your body is expanding and contracting. So that's how we stimulate circulation, because even in our body we have a balance in the system. The blood goes through your system and it returns to the heart, but the mechanism that allows it to happen is movement. The heart pumps it out, and then it returns through that pulmonary action where it's kind of squeezing and moving. Your muscles are doing that. So we don't pay attention a lot to that, but it happens by itself. And then the other side of the fluids is your lymphatic fluid. That moves totally through movement. It doesn't have a pump. So your lymphatic system is your immune system. So that side of it has to be done through the circulation, because all the interstitial fluid that's in between all the musculars and cells and so forth, when it goes in, it circulates and it all drops back in through this, what they call the thoracic duct, and then it blends back in, and that's the fluid that becomes your blood, and blood is squeezes out, it goes into your system. Some of it is getting oxygenated, but some of it just gets squeezed out as the fluids that's supplies your body with that. So that fluid actually comes into play when you get injured. You get sprain, it swells, right? If you're bedridden and you don't move, it swells, because that's a so you have to move to get rid of it. So if you can't move, what do? They put a pump on it, and it kind of works it until gets the blood out of there, the fluid out, this interstitial fluid. So inside that fluid also has the lymph, and then in the lymph nodes it has all these that's all the T cells and all that go through your body to kind of check everything that's going on. So that's kind of how it works, and we don't pay attention to that either, mainly because it just happens. But when your system is weak, it's usually because of that stuff is not working right. So today, that's why people that have strong immune systems can overcome some of this. If your system is weak, then that's why they say if you have a lot of pre-existing conditions, you're susceptible to the virus. But it's more complicated than that. But this is why the people that invented this stuff was thinking along these lines why to them it would work, So then they bring in the medicine side of it as they go through their learning, because not everybody that was doing this really knew much about what we're talking about, just like students that learn the form. Because when physicians or doctors or some of the smarter people get involved with it, then they start to investigate. So that's how you kind of see a lot of this. So okay, so let's go through the long form now. Enough talking, right? So, do you want to find a position that would be... So, Manaka, you want to come in here? You can come in here. Stand here. So you're surrounded by people. I'll move around a little bit. Yeah, you can stand here. Yeah. Are you familiar with the long form now completely? Yeah. Okay, so we'll go through it. All right, ready? Preparation? Okay, brush knee 4 times. Okay, oblique brush knee push, and we're going to turn 180 degrees to do the rear corner brush knee. And we're back to right side grasp the sparrow's tail. We'll go to the oblique single whip. Then we turn to fist on the elbow. Carry tight the mountain. Open the stance and hold the ball. Shift, step up. Raise the hand. Bend from the waist. Stork flaps wings. Turn. Brush knee and push. Insert needle. Step step forward, fan through the back. So we know all of these different postures. Stroke down, parry and punch, invert the hand, forward movement, stepping back. We retreat, divert, block, and punch. Step up, grasp the sparrow's tail, right side. It's always right side in this form. Hook your wrists, single whip. Hold the ball, shift, cloud hands. Turn. Then we go to our first instep kick. So set up your hands, switch hands, cross, flip the hands over, fold the elbows, kick with the right foot, come back to center, cross the arms, open, flip it over, step up, lift the knee, instep kick, step behind, oh not yet, yep, heel kick, left side, brush knee, right side push, second, brush knee, left side push, set up like you're doing the brush knee, we go forward, you twist out, and you turn it into a planting punch. Turn, parry and punch. Let's go back to the first position. Reverse, open, reverse, cross the hands, look to the corner now, and we're going to open and cross behind, staying looking at the refrigerator in the corner there. Come up through center, turn to your right, stroke down, turn to the back, rear. This is beat the tiger, form your fists, turn back toward the mirror, lower the hands, cross the forearms, level the elbows, right heel kick, down, two punches to the ear, left on top, flip it over, toe out, lift the knee, parting leg, cross, spin, good, left hand on top, fold the elbow, parting leg, stroke down, invert the hand, back fist, that's your parry and punch, form your fists, divert, block, and punch. Cross the arms, leopard and tiger springs to mountain. 1, 2, 3. Carry tiger to the mountain. Cross hands, right hand to the outside. Oblique, brush knee and push. Second round. Turn, same as the first time. Just repeating the sequence. Right side, grasp the sparrow's tail. Grasp the sparrow's tails. The setup for the single whip, it happens each and every time. Go back to the front. Then we hold the ball, reverse the ball to the right side, diagonal flying. Now we turn this way, and we stroke down, and we have 5 part the horse's mane. Now we step up, go to neutral, 1 time, part the horse's mane left side. Now we step up again, and we do 2 more. 1, 2. Now we cross over with the Jade Lady work shuttle. Now we we sit back, pivot, pivot, cross step, and step up. Now we do the opposite side. Here's your right side Jade Lady work shuttle, and we fill this corner with a pot the horse's mane. Now we cross over like pot the horse's mane leads the Jade Lady work shuttle. So that kind of goes hand in hand, and then we turn, pivot, pivot, step, cross step, and step up. Right side Jade Lady work shuttle, and back to right side grasp the sparrow's tail. So the whole series of movements to the hook wrist, and then we get back into single whip. Then we have our second set of cloud hands. And we're back to single whip. Next series of postures, or the only new one here, is snake sticks out tongue, invert the hand, pull down, downward posture, to golden cockroach stands on one leg. So these two postures are the only new ones till we repeat. Repulse the monkey all the way to the third set of cloud hands. Carry tiger to the mountain. Open the stance. Hold the ball, and we repeat the step up and raise the hand to repeat the section with the insert needle. So this is just something we're familiar with, but it's just a repeat in the sequence to insert needle. Then fan through the back. Turn, stroke down, parry and punch. Now this time we step forward. Same punch, divert, block, and punch. And the same step up and grasp the sparrow's tail. Okay, now we're at single whip again. Third set of cloud hands. Next, now we start with the next and final phase, which is the palm strikes face motions. And we're going to turn to do the lotus kick, single lotus. Okay, then we step down and do a brush knee left push. Then we go forward, turn out like a brush knee, but we turn it to a punch down to crotch, and we step up, grasp the sparrow's tail. So there's a few new postures in there, and we're back to single whip. Then we can cycle through one more time to do a downward posture. Pull down. Then we step up to cross hands. Instead of going to golden cockroach, we go to 7 stars. Then we retreat to ride the tiger. And then we have a palm strikes face left, and we have a turn. Now we do the double lotus kick, and then we draw down to shoot bow. Then we step up, second time doing the palm straight space with this format, and we turn. Instead of the single lotus kick, we do a parry and punch. Then we set up the vertical elbow position, flip it over like in the kicks, high pat the horse. We step up again, the right side, grasp the sparrow's tail. Turn to the front, hook your wrists, single whip, and we do reverse the ball for the second time. And a diagonal flying right side, and we close. So there is some logic to the form, just that when you're first learning it, it's just, unimaginable what it is, what you're doing. But they're like chapters. You use certain references, cloud hands as a reference point to make your modifications, and then the repeats are just, reviewing it. So eventually it just sinks in. A lot of times when you do a form like this and it's so long, you memorize it from beginning to end. Then if you try to jump in the middle of it, you don't know where you are. So when you can think through your form, then you actually know it pretty well by knowing what's going to happen next. Or if you see someone going through the form and you know right away what's happening next, that means that it's kind of you've embodied it. So. Yeah. Yeah, so it's a function of time and frequency, right? So if you're doing it once or twice a week, it's going to be better than if you do it once a week. If you're doing it every day, then, but you can't do it by yourself if you don't remember it. So the group classes does help, or seeing video does help. So, but the thing is, you have to, wire your body for this. So we're creatures of habit. When you learn something that's requires a sequence of things, you have to do it over and over again. It's like a recipe. If you don't make, or if you don't bake, a specific, whatever it is, an apple pie, or you're not cooking stew or something, and you have to always look at the cookbook to see what's in it. But if you're doing it day in and day out, you just kind of grab all the stuff and put it in. So doing the form is similar to that. You just kind of do it often enough. And is it good to focus on one section? Well, that's trying to perfect it. That's going to be a course throughout. Like if you learn the sequence, like the Tai Chi Paradigm form, there's a certain amount of postures, 16 to 17 postures. To perfect it, you have to extract the postures. So that's kind of the dosing, I call it. You have to get a dose of grasp the sparrow's tail. In the warm-ups, you're doing a lot of that already. And what that does, it allows your body to do replication. In the old days in learning, people would just teach you the form. You're on your own to figure out what you need to do to improve it. They would, because you have your principles, you have your guidelines, then you have to kind of go back and figure out what's grasp the sparrow's tail, because they didn't really always explain everything to you, because they want you to figure it out yourself. When you figure it out yourself, you actually know it better. But the thing is, how many people will actually go back and figure it out? So that's why a teacher is supposed to fill that void, or fill in those bits of information. Have your body drive the movement. So what does the body driving the movement mean? It means, because movements are in space and it's dimensional, when we do cloud hands in the drills, it's doing this. So you're waving your hands, and that's the pattern. But if you turn and I turn, then there's a right to left movement. That didn't happen because my hand is going to the right or this hand is going to the left. It's because I created a motion. So you have to create movements in space based on the compatible motion. So, well, where's the up and down? Because we sink and we rise and turn and fall, there's a up and down direction. So those up and down directions have to tie together. But then it's not square, even though that's all we can do. The roundness of movement really is created by an action. We can only do this because the joints only pivot off a point. If I'm like this and I do this, you can see that. But if I go like this, now it looks like it's round. But actually, that's all I did. When I turn my hand like this, and I turn my hand like this, it looks like it's has dimension and it's more fluid. But the thing is, the manipulation of your skeletal structure creates that action. The fact that the hand can turn like this and turn like this is what allows you to create that movement in space. So the consistency of movement comes from your warm-ups, the fundamentals. The consistency of the memory and the form is from doing it over time. And then the perfection of those postures becomes another phase of that training. But learning is one phase, training is the other phase. Training is doing it yourself until your body, what you're training is your body, is your mind to understand. And that's really essentially all you're doing. So why do we do it slowly? Because you can learn things in detail much better when it's done slowly. So even if you're doing something very fast, when you want to see what's going on, you have to slow it down. And then you see the details in it. It happens in, it's like writing. When you first learn to write, you kind of go through the whole process. You start with block letters, you go to script and then calligraphy if you get to that point. But the thing is, in the beginning, you slow it down, then you speed up, and it gets really sloppy and it becomes illegible. Then if you're really good at it, you have to practice, right, to make, if it's your signature consistently working like that. But even that goes away today. All the kids that all they do is this, don't have this anymore. So people that are older have better handwriting than people that, today that don't actually practice that. And you can see it, even in the history when they use the ink pens, and they really, you can see the dimension in their writing. Today, that's all gone, right? So all this calligraphy that you see on the characters, that's done with brushes. That's brush stroking. So that's the kind of thing that becomes, lost over time. So our movement's essentially brush stroking, and they talk about energy even in your writing. So it's a skill that becomes a part of a motor skill, the dexterity and the sensitivity in your hand. When you write, there's a hand dexterity. When you move your body, there's a body dexterity that's not, mostly not practical for most people because they don't know how to develop it, right? I don't know if you saw the Olympics when they had it in China that first year when they did that big show in the beginning, and they had this, was it a couple? They came out and they had like brushes on their feet, and they were doing all the movements in Tai Chi and some of the things, and they were actually scripting out characters using the body, a circular spin, and it's just showing you that the body is really creating patterns and images. That's what we're doing. So when we go forward and back and turn, they're images in space. So all these lines that you're drawing are really, just points in space, and you're connecting those dots. Those locus of points is really what we're tracking, on that level. So that's how you refine it. You're missing a dot, you miss a spot. See, so it's pretty complex stuff if you take it to that level. But the thing is, I try to expose you, to open your way of thinking of what you're doing. So the strengthening part of it, all the shifting of weight and sustaining yourself in a position, because your musculature starts to strengthen and become, more aware, and it gets better, it gets smarter, right, Broccoli? We really okay. So we'll bow. We'll let them know. Oh, here, mine is coming. Mine was. He knows. He's coming, but I'll give him the bell anyways. See, Maria's trained to hear that bell. Okay, ready? Hup. All right, that's another day. So World Tai Chi Day. If you have time, it's just a day that everybody would do Tai Chi in the globe. It's some people make a real big deal out of it. They have banners and they advertise it. We just go out and do it, kind of. But it's No, we're just gonna go out there and do the Tai Chi class, and then 9:30. We'll do the form. Yeah. We'll do the. It's gonna be a nice day. We'll do it outside the form. Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, I hear it's going to be a nice day. I just called it. I didn't really know, but then they said it's going to be a nice day. So we do. Well, it's a bad day. We can come back inside or whatever. But yeah. So if you want to, we do it outside, and if we want to come in, we can. I mean, so the hour and a half we'll do it. Then we have a kung fu class after that for the. So I don't know if we'll do it there or in here. Like you said, if you like mirrors, then it's better in here. Yeah. Get some fresh air. I think it's the only weekend we'll do it because they always have sports on weekends for the kids. So hopefully there's a school vacation week that no one will be there. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Sam, you got a minute? Yeah, when you come in. We'll see you here. Okay. So I'm trying to. I can break it down into the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then do the laundry and the pantry.
Kitchen and the 2 cabins.
So typically, this is what without going into the.
Don't go cabinet by cabinet.
No. So if we just say, as it stands now, it's about 20 for the.
That's very good price.
For just the materials and the cabinetry.
Yeah, I know. I know that you have to.
So